First question, it says, here's part of a bus timetable. So they've given us different times for different buses. And it says that Rashid catches the 9:20 bus at Abbots. Find the time the bus arrives at Southmore. So 9:20 at Abbots is going to be this time. So for Southmore, the bus would arrive at 10:07. Part B says Anisa leaves home at 8:27 a.m. and takes 25 minutes to walk to the bus stop at Calais. She catches the next bus to Centrepoint. Find the total time in minutes for her journey from leaving home to arriving at Centrepoint. So she's leaving home at 8:27 and then she's walking 25 minutes to the bus stop at Calais. So bus stop at Calais is over here. And then from Calais, she is catching the next bus to Centrepoint. So we're going to focus on Calais and Centrepoint. Now she started her journey at 8:27 and walked for 25 minutes. So she's starting her journey at 8:27 plus walking for 25 minutes. So the time she's going to reach Calais is going to be 8:52 a.m. So this is the time at which she reaches Calais. So at 8:52 a.m. she can only catch the 9:42 bus. So let's highlight that. This is the bus that she'll catch. So based on the bus that she'll catch, she'll reach Centrepoint at 10:30. So her entire journey from home to Centrepoint is going to be 25 minutes plus 50 minutes and plus 48 minutes. Why 25 plus 50 plus 48? 25 minutes is the time that she took to walk. Reached Calais at 8:52 a.m. and the bus was going to leave at 9:42, which means she had to wait for 50 minutes. So this is your waiting time period. And then 48 minutes is the time that it took for her to go from Calais to Centrepoint. So journey from Calais to Centrepoint. So these three values represent this information: the walking time period, the waiting time period, and her journey from Calais to Centrepoint. So we'll add these up, and that is going to give us 123 minutes. That is the exact time it takes for her to start from her home and to reach Centrepoint. The distance from Abbots to Centrepoint is 29.4 kilometers. Each bus takes the same time for the journey. Calculate the average speed of a bus for this journey. Give your answer in kilometers per hour. So if you look at the time, firstly, from Abbots to Centrepoint, this is Abbots and this is Centrepoint. So approximately, it takes 1 hour and 10 minutes to go from Abbots to Centrepoint. You can compare it with each of the values from 6:50 to 8, it's 1 hour, 10 minutes. If we start from 6:50, 6:50 to 7:50 is 1 hour. And then 7:50 to 8 is going to be 10 minutes. So it takes 1 hour and 10 minutes to go from Abbots to Centrepoint. So if we go back to the question over here, average speed has the formula of distance over time. Distance is 29.4 kilometers. Time is 1 hour and 10 minutes. So let's convert this completely into hours. 10 minutes into hours is going to be 10 divided by 60, which is 0.16 recurring, or write that as 0.167. So we do 1 plus 0.167, which is 1.167 hours. So divide 9.4 kilometers by 1.167 hours, which is going to give us 25.19 kilometers per hour. Always remember to convert the time into like completely hours, not leave the minute part as it is, because then your answer would not be correct. So complete the minutes into hours, add that time to the hours, and then divide the kilometers by that time period to get the speed in kilometers per hour. On one journey, all 56 seats on the bus are filled. The ratio of adults to children on the journey is 5:3. The cost for an adult ticket is $2.80. The cost for a child ticket is 3/4 of the adult cost. Work out the total cost of the tickets for this journey. Let's use the ratio to find how many seats are occupied by adults and children. Number of seats for children, that's going to be 3/5 plus 3 times 56. Now, 56 is your total seats. And 3/5 plus 3 is your fraction of children, which was created using the ratio. This is children, this is adults. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say 3/8 times 56. 8 ones are 8, 8 sevens are 56. So 3 times 7 is 21. So 21 seats are occupied by children, which means adults are going to be 56 minus 21. Just subtract the number of children from the total number of seats, and that is going to give us 35 seats. Now for the total cost. Cost of an adult is 2.80 and cost of a child is 3/4 of the adult cost. So cost of child is going to be 3/4 of 2.80, which is going to give us $2.1. So now total cost will be the number of seats for adults multiplied by the cost plus the number of seats for children multiplied by the cost. So adults were 35. So we'll multiply the cost for that, which is 2.80 plus number of children is 21 times 2.1, which is the cost of the seat for one child. And that will give us $142.1. Question 2 says, draw the image of triangle T after reflection in the line y equals to x. Yeah, this is the correct line for y equals to x. And we're going to draw the image for this now. So triangle T would be 2, -1, then 2, -4, and 3, -4. How did we get these coordinates? Basically, if you compare the distances, this point is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units vertically away from the origin and 2 units horizontally. So if it's reflected, what's going to happen is that's going to be opposite now. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 units away horizontally now and 2 units vertically. So it's 2 units away vertically from the x-axis. So that's why this point is this point. This point is going to be this. And lastly, this is this. For the red point, if you look, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 points horizontally. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 points vertically. So opposite, now horizontally it's going to be 4 points and 8 vertically now. For the yellow dot, 1, 2, 3, same 8 points horizontally, but vertically now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now over here it's going to be 6 horizontally and 8 vertically. So always remember that when you're reflecting in the line y equals to x, you will change your, change the distance. Whatever is the horizontal distance, now that becomes the vertical distance from the origin. You have to make sure that you're counting the distance from the origin, which is this point. This is your origin. So this was your reflection for triangle T in the line y equals to x. Then draw the image of triangle T after translation by the vector negative 1, 3. So the translation is by the vector negative 1, 3. So let's change the coordinates first. So let's write the coordinates for T first. This is negative 4, 3. This is negative 4, 2. And this is negative 1, 2. So if we translate the first coordinate, which is negative 4, 3, you will subtract 1 from this and add 3 to this, which will give us negative 5 and 6. Then for the next point, which is negative 4 and 2, again subtract 1 and add 3. So that's going to be negative 5 and 5. And for the last one, negative 1 and 2, subtract 1, add 3 again. That's going to be negative 2 and 5. So now if we plot these, negative 5 and 6 is going to come over here. Negative 5 and 5 is going to come over here. And negative 2 and 5 is over here. So basically what has happened, we moved 3 units up and 1 unit to the left. So 3 units up and 1 unit to the left. This was your movement of the coordinates. So 1 unit over here and 3 units up. That is your translation. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle T onto triangle A. So if we compare triangle T and triangle A, we can clearly see that triangle A is an enlargement of triangle T. So let's see what the enlargement scale factor is and what is the center of your enlargement. Let's join the same points, this with this with this, and this point with this point, because these are the same points, but on different shapes. So as we can see, our center of enlargement is 0, 3, this point. And if you try to find the scale factor of enlargement, Let's compare two lengths. If we compare this length with this length is 1 unit. And this length over here, the enlarged length, is 1.5 unit. So for the scale factor, I'm going to divide 1.5 by 1, which is going to give me 1.5. In scale factor, always remember you divide the length of your new shape by the length of your old shape. So scale factor is new length over old length. So that's why I did 1.5 divided by 1, which is 1.5. That is a scale factor. Fully describe this transformation. It is an enlargement by scale factor of 1.5 and center is 0.3. A quadrilateral P is enlarged by scale factor of 1.2 to give quadrilateral Q. The area of quadrilateral P is 20 centimeters square. Calculate the area of quadrilateral Q. So basically, as we discussed earlier, to find the scale factor, we put equal the ratio of new length by the old length. So P is the original shape and it's been enlarged to Q. So Q over P equals to 1.2 over 1. Okay. So when talking about areas and for similar shapes, because these two are similar shapes, because one was enlarged based on the other one. So that means your ratio of the length, which is the scale factor over here, squared will equal to the ratio of the area. So area of Q divided by area of P. So 1.2 square is basically 1.44. 1.44 equals to area of Q over area of P, which is 20. So we do 20 times 1.44, which will give us 28.8 centimeters square. That is our area of Q. This question was basically using the concept of similar shapes, how like the square of the ratio of lengths is equal to the ratio of your corresponding areas. And if they were talking about volume, then you would cube the ratio of length and put it equal to the ratio of the volumes of like both the shapes. Question 3 says, the table shows the number of tigers reported to be living in the wild in the year 2014 in some countries. So we have India, Indonesia, Nepal, and Bangladesh, and their number of tigers. Using the table, find the number of tigers in Nepal as a percentage of the number of tigers in Bangladesh. So these are the two quantities we're looking at. So we know that Nepal is 198 and Bangladesh is 106. So we'll do 198 over 106 times 100, because it says find the number of tigers in Nepal as a percentage of the number of tigers in Bangladesh. So 198 over 106 times 100, which is basically going to equal to 186.79%. Next part says find the ratio of tigers in Bangladesh to tigers in Indonesia to tigers in India, giving your answer in simplest form. So tigers in Bangladesh, that is 106, to tigers in Indonesia, which is 371, to tigers in India, which is 2,226. So now we have to figure out what is their common factor. So using trial and error, we can see that all three numbers are divisible by 53. So I'm going to divide all of them by 53 to simplify this ratio. And that is going to give me 2:7:42. That is your answer. And it says 5 years later, the number of tigers reported in India was 2,967. Find the percentage increase in the population of tigers in India. So percentage increase is going to be your new value minus old value divided by old value times 100, which is basically 2,967 minus 2,226 divided by 2,226 times 100, and that will give you 33.3%. The number of tigers in India in the year 2014 is approximately 30.48% greater than in the year 2010. Find the number of tigers in India in the year 2010, giving your answer correct to the nearest integer. Going to use the same formula over here. They have told us that the number of tigers in India in the year 2014 is approximately 30.48% greater than the year 2010. So that means your 2014 was 2,226. This value is given in the question. If you go back to the table, the 2014 values are given, and that's 2,226 for India. Okay. So this value is basically equal to 30.48% of X. X is your number of tigers in 2010. This thing. So 30.48% of X plus X, because it's showing a 30.48% increase of the number of tigers in 2010. So we add the 30.48% of that value to the value. So that's going to be basically 2,226 equals to 0.3048x plus x, which is 1.3048x, and then we divide the two, and that is going to give us 1,706 tigers. This is for your 2010 value. Part B says at the start of June, a hive has a population of 2,000 bees. 3 months after the start of June, the hive has a population of 2,662 bees. Start of June is 2,000 bees. And 3 months after the start, we have 2,662. The population of this hive can be calculated by using this formula, where P is the population of the hive X months after the start of June. Let's highlight all the important information. Then by finding the value of A and the value of B, calculate the population of the hives 7 months after the start of June. So first we have to find the value of A and B, and then we have to find the population of the hives 7 months after the start of June. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start with making our equations. First equation is going to be 2,000 equals to A times B to the power of 0. Why to the power of 0? Because our starting period is the start of June. So that's X equals to 0, which is your initial point. Your initial population is 2,000 bees. And at X equals to 3, your population has increased to 2,662. So first equation is this, and we know that anything to the power of 0 is going to equal to 1, which means it's going to be 2,000 equal to A. This was your first equation. 2000 equals to A. Second equation is going to be 2662 equals to A times B to the power of 3. But now since we know that A equals to 2000, we're going to replace A with 2000 over here. So 2662 equals to 2000 times B cube. B cube will be 2662 divided by 2000, and then we will cube root this value to find the value of B. The reason why we cube rooted the fraction is because B has a cube on it. So to get rid of the cube, we have to cube root the other side. So cube root of 2662 divided by 2000 is going to give us 1.1, which means the equation now is P equals to 2000 times 1.1 to the power of x. So now to find the population at x equals to 7, we will do 2000 times 1.1 to the power of 7, which will give us 3897.4. Correct to the nearest integer will be 3897. That is your final answer for the population of the hive 7 months after the start of June. Remember that your starting period, your time is going to be x equals to 0. And then as the time increases for the number of months, you change your x value. So that's why we had x equals to 0 before, then x equals to 3, and lastly, x equals to 7. A regular 12-sided polygon has side length 6 centimeter. Show that one interior angle of the polygon is 150. So the formula for this is n minus 2 times 180 over n. N over here is given as 12. So we'll do 12 minus 2 divided by 12 times 180. And that will give us 150, which is shown in the question as well. The polygon is enclosed by a circle center O so that each vertex touches the circumference of the circle. Show that the radius AO of the circle is 11.6, correct to 1 decimal place. So we have to find the length of this. So we know OA is going to equal to OB because they're the radius. 6 centimeter, this length is given over here. Since this is a 12-sided polygon, we can find the angle which each of these triangles would have. If we draw a line to each vertex over here, we can see that we will have a total of 12 triangles, which you can see as I'm drawing. We have 12 equal triangles over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And all of these angles are equal. So I'm going to find this angle over here by doing 360 over 12, which is going to give me 30 degrees. So this is our angle 30. So since two lengths are equal in this triangle OAB, it's an isosceles triangle, which means these two angles are going to be, let me use a different color. These two angles are going to be equal. This is the triangle that we're focusing on. triangle OAB. So for the isosceles triangle, to find those angles, we will do, let's call this X. This is also X. So 180, which is the sum of angles of a triangle, equals to 30 plus X plus X. It's going to be 180 minus 30 equals to 2X. So that's 150 divided by 2. And that is going to give us 75 degrees. So now that we have this angle, we can find the length using sine rule. Why sine rule? Because this is a non-right angle triangle. And for the sine rule, what you need is one complete set of length and angle, which in this case is one angle, one length, and one opposite angle. So we have the angle and length set, and we have to find this length, and we already have these angles at X. X is 75, this is 75. So we need to find the lengths now. So I'm going to do OA over sine of 75 equals to 6 centimeters over sine of 30. That's going to be OA equals to 6 times sine of 75 over sine of 30. And that is going to give us 11.6 centimeter as given in the question. So first remember that you have to find the middle angle over here and realize that the shape is making 12 equal triangles. So 360 divided by 12 will give us 30, which is this angle in the middle. And then you find the other angles using the concept of isosceles triangles. Once we found the other angles, then we move on to finding the lengths using the sine rule. Calculate the circumference of the circle. So we already know the radius, which is 11.6. We can use the formula circumference equals to 2 pi r. 2 times pi times 11.6, and that will give us 72.88 centimeters. Then it says the perimeter of the shaded minor segment formed by the chord AB. So that's this shaded part. So let's highlight this part first. So we have this sector over here. And inside the sector, we have a triangle as well. So we have to find the perimeter of this part over here, which is this sector and this length. We already know the length, which is going to be, so arc AB and 6. We know 6, we need to find the arc AB. So arc AB is going to equal to 30 over 360 times 2 pi times 11.6. The formula we're using over here is arc length equals to theta over 360 times 2 pi r. R is 11.6, theta is 30. So we just substitute the values and solve it. So firstly, our arc length is going to be 6.07 centimeters. So we do 6.07 plus 6, which is going to give us 12.07, which can be rounded to 12.1 centimeters as well. The regular 12-sided polygon is the cross section of a prism of length 2 centimeters. Calculate the volume of the prism. So for that, first we need to calculate the area of the prism, because volume basically is cross section area times the length. The length is given as 2 centimeters. So what we're going to do is, if we look at the shape, we know that inside the circle, the prism is inscribed. And if we divide the prism, it's going to be divided into 12 triangles. Okay. We know this angle, which was 30. We know these lengths, 11.6. So area of a non-right angle triangle has the formula of right angle triangle has the formula of 1 over 2 AB sine of angle C. So this formula is applicable when you have two lengths and the angle between them, which we have over here. We have length OA, OB, and the angle between it is 30. So 1 over 2 times 11.6 square times sine of 30. This is going to give us 33.64 centimeter square as the area of one triangle, the triangle AOB. So if I highlight this over here, this is your triangle AOB area. Okay, so to find the area of the entire prism, area of prism will be 12 times this area because we have 12 triangles all together making this prism. So 12 times 3.64 is going to be 403.68 centimeter square. And now for the volume, I will multiply 403.68 with 2, which was the running length. And that will give us 807.4 centimeter cube. So to quickly recap the entire thing, first we started with understanding how we'll find the volume, which is by multiplying the cross-section area with the length. Then we tried to find the cross-section area by finding the area of one triangle of this prism through the area of non-right angle triangle formula, 1 over 2 AB sine C. And then we multiplied that area by 12 to get the area of the entire prism. And once we got that, we multiplied the area with the length, which is 2, to get the volume of the prism. Question 5 says the time T taken by each of 80 people to travel to work is recorded. The table shows information about these times. Write on the class interval containing the median time. So for the median time, we first divide the total frequency by 2. So 80 divided by 2 is 40. So now 40, how do we figure out where 40 will come? We start adding the frequencies. 3 plus 7 is 10. 10 plus 18 is 28. 28 plus 28 is 46. So as we know, we're looking for the first 40 values, and those first 40 values will fall in this one. Because when we start from the first time interval to the 35th time interval, we're getting 46 values over here. So that means the median will fall in 2235. Then it says calculate an estimate of the mean. For the estimate, we have to find the midpoints of our class interval first. So midpoints are going to be 2.5 for this, 7.5 for this, 15 for this, then 27.5 for this one, And lastly, for this, we will have 47.5. These are our midpoints for the given class intervals. So now for the mean, we do sigma fx over sigma f. Sigma fx is the sum of the product of x multiplied by f, which is going to be 2.5 times 3 plus 7.5 times 7 plus 15 times 18 plus 27.5 times 28 and plus 47.5 times 24. And this entire thing will be divided by your sum of frequency, which is given as 80 over here. So when you solve this, your answer is going to be 28. That is going to be your estimate of the mean time. Always remember that whenever you have like group data like this, like you have class intervals, always find the x value, which is going to be the midpoint, and then you will use that to find the mean. Because if you just directly pick values from the intervals, like if you pick 0 or 5, and then multiply that to the frequency, that's going to give an incorrect answer. So first and foremost, find the midpoint, which will serve as your x value, and then use that in your mean formula. One of these 8 people is chosen at random. Find the probability that this person took longer than 10 minutes to travel to work. Give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. So longer than 10 minutes is going to come in this interval. So that's going to be 18 plus 28 plus 24 divided by 80, which is going to be 70 over 80. And you can further simplify this to 7 over 8. 2 people are chosen at random from those taking 20 minutes or less to travel to work. Calculate the probability that one of these people took 5 minutes or less and the other took more than 5 minutes. So 20 minutes or less to work is this part. And then calculate the probability that one of these people took 5 minutes or less and the other took more than 5 minutes. So 5 minutes or less is this, and more than 5 minutes is this. Our probability is going to be over 28, which is going to be for this part. Now, why 28? Because we're adding these 3 frequencies, because our total number of people that we're choosing from are the people who walked less than 20 minutes. Hence, we add 3, 7, and 18, which is going to give us 28, which is going to be our denominator, the total number of people. And the first probability that we're trying to find is for people who walk less than 5 minutes. So that's just 3. So 3 out of 28 times. Now the number of people who walked 5 or more than 5. So that's going to be these people. So times 25 over 27 now. Why 27? Because we've already taken out one person from this entire data set who walked less than 5 minutes. So one person less means the total value is going to change now. So instead of 28, it's going to be 27. But out of these 27, the numerator will still be 25 because the person taken out is from this interval, not these two. So 3 over 25 times 25 over 27. If there's still confusion, I'm just going to highlight this over here. We'll write less than 5 And this is for 5 or more. Yeah, less than 5 is 3 over 28. 5 or more is 25 or 27. So now when we multiply these, actually we can simplify these. 3 ones are 3, 3 nines are 27. So 25 over 28 times 9, which is 252. Go back to the question. The question said that find the probability that this person took longer than 10 minutes to travel to work. So we don't know which person he's choosing first, whether he's choosing the first person from like the 5 to 20 interval, or whether the first person is chosen from 0 to 5 interval. So he didn't put any restriction on that, which means 25 over 252 will then be multiplied by 2, which will give us the final probability, that is 25 over 126. Once again, there is no restriction on choosing whether the person he picks first is coming from less than 5 minutes or is he coming from 5 to 20 minutes. So since there's no restriction on that, that means there are two different combinations. First from 0 to 5, then to 5 to 20. Then first from 5 to 20, then to 0 to 5. Hence we multiply 25 over 252 with 2, and that gives us 25 over 126 as the final answer. Part C says using the frequency table on page 8 to complete the cumulative frequency table. So if we go to the frequencies, we have 3, 7, 18, 28, and 24. 3, 7, 18, 28, and 24. So for the cumulative frequency, you keep on adding your frequencies consecutively, and then you reach your final value, which is going to be 80. So 3 plus 7 is 10. Then we do 10 plus 18, which is going to be 28. Then we do 28 plus 28, which is going to give us 56. And then we do 56 plus 24, which will give us 80. So that's how you find your cumulative frequency. On the grid, draw a cumulative frequency diagram to show this information. So let's plot these now. At 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3. So it's going to be over here. Then going to be over here. Then 10, 10, 20, 28. So that's going to be over here. 35, 56. That is going to be this point. And 60, 80. So 80 is this, 60 is this. Okay, so now we join the points. Oops. Okay, this is what we have. It says find an estimate for the 80th percentile. So 80th percentile is going to be 80 over 100 times 80, which is going to give us 64. So from our graph, we go to 64, draw a line, and see what the corresponding value is, which is going to be like around 40.9 for me. Between 41 to 40.9. So I'm going to choose 40.9. Then it says find an estimate for the percentage of people who took longer than 45 minutes to travel to work. Longer than 45 minutes. So longer than 45 is going to be I'm getting 80 minus 70 over 80 times 100, which is going to be 10 over 80. And that is going to give us 12.5%. So that is the percentage of people who walked longer than 45 minutes. Question 6 is simplify. So we're going to collect the like terms. A and negative 3a are like terms. And negative 2b and 7, positive 7b are like terms. We're going to do a minus 3a minus 2b plus 7b, going to be negative 2a plus 5b. That is your answer. Expand and simplify. We're going to multiply 4 with x and 4 with negative 5. Then negative 1 with 3 and negative 1 with negative 2x. If nothing is written over there, that means it's negative 1. Always. So we do 4 times x plus 4 times negative 5 minus 1 times 3 and minus 1 times negative 2x, which will give us 4x minus 20 minus 3 plus 2x. Minus times minus is positive, and minus times positive is minus. 4x plus 2x is 6x, and negative 20 minus 3 is negative 23. That is your answer. Write as a single fraction. So we're going to multiply the first fraction by 2x and the second fraction by x minus 5, which will give us 3 times 2x over 2x times x minus 5 minus 7 times x minus 5 over 2x times x minus 5. Always remember, when we're adding or subtracting, unlike denominators, we have to make the denominators equal. And to make them equal, what we do is we multiply both the fractions by the denominator of the other fraction. That's why the first fraction got multiplied by 2x, which was the denominator of the second fraction. And the second fraction got multiplied by x minus 5, which was the denominator of the first fraction. So we have 6x minus 7x plus 35 over 2x times x minus 5. Since we have the same denominators, I combined it as a single fraction. And the numerator is 3 times 2x, which is 6. And negative 7 times x is negative 7x. And negative 7 times negative 5 is positive 35. Next, 6x minus 7x can be further simplified, which will be negative x plus 35 over 2x times x minus 5. Next question says solve the following. So we're going to do 3 minus 4x equals to 3 times 6 minus x. I cross multiplied and got rid of the fraction. So that's going to be 3 minus 4x equals to 18 minus 3x. Collect the like terms on each side, which means I'm going to bring negative 3x over here and take the 18 over there. So that's going to be negative 4x plus 3x equals to 18 minus 13. The reason why negative 3x is positive on the left-hand side is because we switch sides. And when you switch sides for like any term, its sign changes. So if it's negative, it becomes positive. And if it's positive, it becomes negative, which happened with 13. So negative 4x plus 3x is negative x. 18 minus 13 is 5. X is going to be negative 5. Part E say make x the subject of the formula. Once again, cross multiply. So xy equals to 5 times p minus 2x. Expand the bracket. So 5p minus 10x. Now collect the terms with x on one side. So it's going to be xy plus 10x equal to 5p. Now we take x common over here. So x bracket y plus 10. So x will be 5p over y plus 10. Question 7 says the diagram shows a field ABC. Calculate BC. We're trying to find this length. So if you look at the given information, we have two lengths and the angle between it, which means we can use the cosine rule. So BC square will be AB square plus AC square minus 2 times AB times AC cos of angle A. So we'll do 82 square plus 55 square minus 2 times 82 times 55 times cos of 76, which will give us 9,749 minus 2,182.14. Now in this step, it is very important for you to remember that when you're solving this, you will multiply all of these together. You will multiply 2 with 82, then with 55, and then with cos 76. And this total equals to this thing. You will not do this separately, because if you do this separately, like for example, if you do 82 square plus 55 square, and then subtract 2 times 82 times 55 from this, and then at the end, then multiply that by cos 76. That is going to be completely incorrect. You have to avoid making this very common mistake and solve this together and this together. Only this way you will get the correct answer. If you end up like adding this and then subtracting the half of the product from this, your answer will be wrong. So avoid making that error. So now we will have BC equal to square root of 7,566.86, which will give us 86.99, which can be rounded to 87 meters. It says calculate angle ACB. So ACB is this angle. So for this, we already calculated BC, which is 87. So we can see that we have one angle and its corresponding length. And for the other, we have a length and we have to find the angle. So now we'll use sine rule, which will be 87 over sine 76 equal to 82 over sine of angle C. As you can see, if your previous answer wasn't correct, then your next answer would also be wrong. So you have to be very careful in solving like each of these parts, because as you can see, they're all connected. So it's going to be sine C equals to 82 times sine 76 over 87. And angle C is going to equal to sine inverse of all of this. And this entire thing should give you the angle of 66.14 degrees. Here G lies on AB at the shortest distance from C. Calculate AG. So again, G lies on AB at the shortest distance from C. Calculate AG. So shortest distance would be this. So they want us to calculate AG. So to calculate AG, we will use so shortest distance of C from AB is this. This will be perpendicular to this. So we have to calculate AG, which is this distance. So we have the hypotenuse, we have the angle, we have to find the adjacent. So cos of 76 equals to AG over 55. 55 equals to cos of 76. And that is going to give us 13.31 meters. Always remember that the shortest distance from point to like another point is going to be the perpendicular distance. Always. So if you remember that, you can easily know that if you have to find a missing length for that part, it's going to be done using the trig ratios or like Pythagoras if like two lengths are given. Part D says a different triangular field PQR has the same area as ABC. PQ is 90, QR is 60. Work out the two possible values of angle PQR. So if you draw a triangle over here, PQR. PQ is 90, QR is 60. A different triangular field PQ has the same area as ABC. So let's find the area of ABC first. To go to our shape, for the area of ABC, once again, we'll use the same formula which we used for the other question where we had a non-right angle triangle, which will be 1/2 times AB times sine C. The lengths we'll use are 82 and 55 because these are the two lengths which have an angle between them. So 1/2 times 82 times 55 times sine of 76. Let's go back over here. This entire thing is going to give us 2188.02 meter square. So now they said that the area of PQR and this are equal. So that means this is going to equal to 1/2 because we're trying to find this angle now, angle PQR. So it's going to be times 90 times 60 times sine of PQR. 3 times 60 divided by 2 is going to be 2700 times sine of angle PQR. PQR is going to be sine inverse of 2188.02 divided by 2700, which is going to give us 54.1. For the other angle, we will do 180 minus 54.1 because you want two possible values. So that will give us 125.9 degrees. These are your answers. Question 8 says A has coordinates -2, 7, B has coordinates 1, -5, C has coordinates 5, 4. Find the coordinates of the midpoint of the line AB. That's going to be -2 plus 1 over 2, 7 minus 5 over 2, which is going to be -1 over 2 and 2 over 2, which is -1 over 2 and 1. The formula we used over here is x1 plus x2 over 2, comma y1 plus y2 over 2. That is the formula for the midpoint of a line, or like midpoint of like 2 points. So it says find AC. AC is going to be OC minus OA, which is going to be 5, 4 minus -2 and 7, 5 minus -2, 4 minus 7, which is 5 plus 2, 7, 4 minus 7 is 3. So 7, -3 is your answer. It says find the magnitude of AC. So we will do 7 square plus -3 square, which is 49 plus 9, square root of 58, which is equal to 7.62. Find the equation of the line AB. Give your answer in the form of y equals to mx plus b. So A had the coordinates of -2, 7. And B is 1 and 5, -5. B is 1, -5. So first we find the gradient of AB, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. -5 minus 7 over 1 minus -2, which is going to equal to -12 over 3, which is -4. Then we do y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. We can pick either of the coordinates. So if I pick A, so it's going to be y minus 7 equals to -4 times x minus -2. y minus 7 equals to negative 4x and negative 8. Why? Because minus times negative 2 is positive 2, and then positive 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. So y minus 6 equals to negative 4x minus 8. Y would equal to negative 4x minus 8 plus 7, which is negative 4x minus 1. That is your equation of line AB in the slope-intercept form. And it says find the equation of the line perpendicular to AB that passes through C. So basically, AB and it's passing through C, something like this. So we know M of AB was negative 4. And when we talk about perpendicular lines, your gradient of the two perpendicular lines when multiplied equal to negative 1, which means if we call M of AB M1, it's going to be negative 4 times M2 equals to negative 1, and M2 would equal to negative 4 over negative 1 over negative 4, which is 1 over 4. So this is our gradient of the line perpendicular to AB. So let me just highlight that. This is our gradient. Now point C was given as 5, 4. We'll use the same formulas. Y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1. Point over here is 5, 4. We'll do y minus 4 equals to 1 over 4 times x minus 5. 4 times y minus 4, because I want to get rid of the fraction, equals to x minus 5, which is 4y minus 16. 4y equals to x minus 5 plus 16, which is x minus 11, x plus 11. And y would be x over 4 plus 11 over 4. That is your line of equation in the form of y equals to mx plus c, which is the slope-intercept form. Graphs of y plus 5x equals to 8 and y equals to 2x squared plus 6x minus 13 intersect at the points P and Q. Find the coordinates of P and Q. So we're going to put the y's equal to each other. And for that, we need to first make y the subject in the first equation. So y would equal to 8 minus 5x. Y would equal to 8 minus 5x. So 8 minus 5x equals to 2x squared plus 6x minus 13. Bring everything on one side. 0 equals to 2x squared plus 6x plus 5x now minus 13 minus 8, which is going to give us 11x minus 21. So now we're going to factorize this quadratic equation. We know that 2 times 21 is 42. Factors of 42 are 6 times 7, 21 times 2, 42 times 1, and 14 times 3. So we have to pick that sort of factors which when added or subtracted gives us the middle term, which is 11x. As you can see, 14 minus 3 would give us 11. So we will replace 11x with plus 14x minus 3x. And now we factor by grouping. We factor the first two terms separately and the last two terms separately. Between the first two terms, we have 2x common. So we left with x plus 7 in the bracket. And between the last two terms, we have negative 3 common. So x plus 7 again in the second bracket. Between 2x and negative 3, we have x plus 7 common. So in the second bracket, we'll have 2x minus 3, which shows that x equals to -7 and x equals to 3 by 2. Now to find the corresponding y values, I'm going to use y equals to 8 minus 5x. When we put x equals to -7, we get 8 minus 5 times -7, which is 8 plus 35. And that equals to 43. So let's say P is -7 and 43. And when we put x equals to 3 by 2 in this, that's going to be y equals to 8 minus 5 times 3 by 2. And that's going to give us 1 over 2. So Q is 3 by 2 and 1 over 2. These are the coordinates of P and Q. Question 9 says sketch the graph of y equals to x plus 1 times 3 minus x plus times y equals to x plus 1 times 3 minus x times 3 plus x, indicating the coordinates of the points where the graph crosses the x-axis and the y-axis. So as you can see in this equation, they have highlighted the x-intercepts for us. What we need to do is we need to put y equals to 0 for the x-intercept. That's going to be 0 equals to x plus 1 times 3 minus x times 3 plus x. So x equals to -1, x equals to 3, and x equals to -3. These are the x-intercepts. For the y-intercept, we will put x equal to 0. That's going to be y equals to 0 plus 1 times 3 minus 0 times 0 plus 3, which will give us 1 times 3 times 3, and that is 9. So this is your y-intercept. So let's say 9 is over here, -1 is here, -2, -3, +1, +2, +3. Now if we sketch this, like this. Show that y equals to x plus 1 times 3 minus x times 3 plus x can be written as this. So let's expand the brackets. Y equals to, expand the first two brackets, x times 3, x times -x, 1 times 3 and -x. So that's going to be x times 3 plus x times -x. That's going to be x times 3 plus x times -x plus 1 times 3 plus 1 times -x times 3 plus x. It will be 3x minus x squared plus 3 minus x and times 3 plus x, -x squared plus 2x plus 3 times 3 plus x. Then we multiply 3 with everything, so 3 times -x squared plus 3 times 2x plus 3 times 3, and then x with everything, so plus x times -x squared plus x times 2x and plus x times 3. -3x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus x squared plus 2x squared plus 3x. It's x cubed. So -x cubed minus x squared plus 9x plus 9. That is our equation, which is also given in the question. Then it says calculate the x values of the turning point of y equals to 9 plus 9x minus x squared minus x cubed. Show all your working, giving your answer correct to 2 decimal places. So for the turning point, we will differentiate this equation, which will give us 9 minus 2x minus 3x squared. As you can see, for each term, I brought the power down, multiplied with the quotient, and then subtracted 1 from the power. For the constant 9, for every constant, the derivative is 0. That's why there's nothing for 9. Negative x cubed becomes 3x squared. X squared becomes 2x, and 9x becomes 9. For the turning points, you always put dy by dx equal to 0. 0 equals to 9 minus 2x minus 3x squared. Make everything positive, so 3x squared plus 2x minus 9. Since it says correct to 2 decimal places, that means we'll use the quadratic formula. Negative b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. A is 3, b is 2, and c is negative 9. So minus 2 plus minus 2 square minus 4 times 3 times negative 9 divided by 2 times 3. This is going to give us negative 2 plus minus square root of 112 over 6, which is going to be negative 2 plus minus 10.58 divided by 6, which will give us two values. One will be negative 2 minus 10.58 over 6, which equals negative 2.096. And the other is negative 2 plus 10.58 over 6, which equals to 1.43. These are the two values. Then it says the equation 9 plus 9x minus x squared minus x cubed equals to k has one solution only when k is less than a and when k is greater than b, where a and b are integers. Find the maximum value of a and the minimum value of b. Part 3, what we'll do is that we'll use our previous values to find a and b. So let's put x equals to 1.43 first in the equation. So 9 plus 9 times 1.43 minus 1.43 square minus 1.43 cube equal to k. So one value is 16.9. Then we put x, we put negative 2.01 in the equation. So 9 plus 9 times negative 2.01 minus negative 2.01 square minus negative 2.01 cube equals to k. Let's see what the value is going to be for this. You get negative 5.04 for k for this one. So it said that find the maximum value of a and the minimum value of b. Maximum would be 17 for b because k is greater than b and k is less than a over, so this would be negative 5. If k is less than a and we have to find the maximum value of a, so it's supposed to be negative 5 because negative 5 is greater than negative 5.04. And for b, and also the integers, very important thing. And for k greater than b, if k is 16.9, that means b would be 17. That's the minimum value. Obviously, it can be 18, 19, 20, anything, but we need the minimum value. So that's why it's -5 and 17. Question 10 shows us a cuboid where they've given us some of the lengths and they want us to calculate the length of AB. So this is AB. AB is given as twice of BC. This is your BC. We have this length and the diagonal. So let's calculate AC. We'll calculate easy using Pythagoras because it's a right angle triangle. 24 square equals to 6 square plus AC square. 24 square minus 6 square equals to AC square, which is 540. And then we square root that. And that's going to give us 23.24 centimeters. That is AC. Now we know that AB is twice of BC. So if this is X, this is 2X. Again, Pythagoras, because it's a right angle triangle. 23.24 square equals to X square plus 2X whole square. That's going to be 540 equals to X square plus 4X square, which is going to equal to 5X square. So 540 over 5 and square root is going to give us 10.4. That is your AB. Calculate the angle between AG and the base ABCD. So this is the angle that we're trying to find. So for this, we can just apply the sine rule because we have the hypotenuse and the opposite. So sine of angle A is going to be 6 over 24. So angle A is going to be sine inverse of 1 over 4 because 6 divided by 24 is 1 over 4. That is going to equal to 14.5 degrees.